Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, #GivingTuesday Game Changer. Today, we're going to talk to you about how to prepare for the most important fundraising day of your year. No pressure. First, I'd like to speak with you about how you can participate in today's webinar. You just saw a slide flash by that helps you get oriented, so let me just try to get back to that. I think it appears that we're having a little bit of a delay in the slides, but you should have a screen on the top right-hand corner of your computer screen with a questions tab. This is your chance to ask questions throughout the webinar and make sure that you can get some of your most important questions answered. So please click on the questions box and enter a question anytime throughout the presentation. We will have about 15 minutes at the end of the presentations to handle some of your questions. Now, I realize that with over 600 attendees currently, we won't be able to get to everyone's question. Our plan is to try to pick up on some of the themes that you're raising and also to follow up with a blog post to this webinar, handling some of the additional questions that we might get and that we might not be able to get to. On today's webinar, we have a fabulous panel of presenters for you. First of all, we will be hearing from Jessica Schneider, Director of Strategy and Collaboration at 92nd Wide Street Belfer Center for Innovation. Jessica and her colleagues are really some of the instigators behind Giving Tuesday. Next, we'll be hearing from Adam Weinger, President at Double the Donation, and Adam will be speaking with us about all things related to matching gifts. Last but not least, we will be hearing from Alisa Cordatius, Strategic Programs Manager of Social Good Partnerships at Facebook. Facebook is a new partner with GuideStar and an organization that will be really helping you reach some of those amazing donors and supporters and volunteers that you want to connect with. So Alicia will be sharing with us some of the new features that allow you to do that using Facebook. My name is Eva Nico. I will be our moderator today. I am GuideStar's Senior Director of Nonprofit Strategy. So here are the topics that we'll talk to you about today. First of all, we'll be speaking about the power of your profile on GuideStar and what that means. Next, we will talk about #GivingTuesday and joining the movement, and Jessica will lead us through that. Then we'll talk about matching gifts and how to maximize your impact with those gifts. And finally, we will talk about how to use Facebook to fundraise. As I mentioned, we will also have time for a few questions at the end of the webinar. Now, if you're like me, you're going to see some incredible examples, ideas, information on these slides, and you might be frantically trying to note down the most important points. So I want to let you know that please, sit back and listen to our speakers, listen to some of the commentary that they'll be adding. We will be sending you both the recording of this webinar as well as the presentation that will be used in the webinar, so you will have some of those slides in your back pocket to refer to within about 24 hours of the webinar. So first, I just want to say a little bit about GuideStar and how your GuideStar profile specifically magnifies your presence online. So most of you, I think, know GuideStar. You know that all of the nonprofit organizations in the U.S. and many international organizations have a GuideStar profile. Now, what you may not know is that it's not just your tax information that feeds your profile. You can actually claim your profile just like you might think about a LinkedIn profile, and you can add information to it, information that really relates to the heart of your work, your programs, your activities, your target beneficiaries, the areas that you work in. So please don't let your profile just be about your tax info. I know I don't want to be known just by the tax form that I file, so don't let your organization only be known by your tax form. Come to GuideStar and update your profile. Now, when you're on GuideStar, you are in great company. All of the nonprofits in the U.S. have a profile on there, and we attract about 7 million unique visitors a year just to GuideStar.org alone. And those are people who are really looking for trusted information about your organization. But that's not the end of the story. We also partner with over 200 other platforms and portals that use information about your organization to power their giving experience. So we partner with all major U.S. donor-advised funds, over 20 donation portals processing over $150 million a year annually, and hundreds of other applications, websites. And on today's webinar, we're very happy to be joined by one of our newest partners, Facebook. So that's just a little bit more about kind of why having a GuideStar profile is important. It's not just so that you can show up on GuideStar, it's so that you can represent your organization across all those giving experiences. And then finally, I want to say that we at GuideStar have launched our newest seal of transparency, recognizing organizations for the information that they share with us. And Platinum is our highest level of recognition. So when you share your progress and results with us, you are a Platinum seal of transparency organization on GuideStar. Now, for our Platinum members, now through November 23rd, we will be offering additional recognition for individuals that work for organizations that have a Platinum profile. So if you are a hardworking individual in the sector, and if your organization is at Platinum, you can be nominated for a Platinum Superstar Award, which is a $5,000 award grant opportunity to an individual. And so you can be nominated, and there will be a set of panelists who will be picking the winners of that award after November 23rd. So if you'd like to be nominated and your organization can get to Platinum before November 23rd, you will be eligible for this award. If you have any questions, please contact Courtney Cherico at GuideStar.org. So enough about us and GuideStar, and let's say a little bit more about who's with us today in terms of the audience. So prior to joining the webinar, we asked, and over 2,000 of you have responded. So first of all, we asked, what is your giving experience or experience level with Giving Tuesday? So what we see there is that a small percentage, about 2% of folks, are actual veterans for Giving Tuesday. 4% say that they have planned similar end-of-year campaigns before. 31% of you say that you're somewhat experienced with Giving Tuesday campaigns, and over 60% of you have said that this is your first time planning Giving Tuesday. So welcome for all our first-timers, and we hope that this presentation really helps you access some of the tools and resources so that you can run a terrific campaign. Now, we also asked a little bit about some of the challenges that you have with Giving Tuesday, and the highlights were that attracting new donors is a challenge, obviously running a campaign with limited staff, finding matching gift partners, and then taking the first step in getting started, where to begin. So we would love to turn it over to you just for a moment and ask you a poll question. So first of all, has your organization started planning for Giving Tuesday? Please take a moment to answer one of their choices, that attending this webinar is your first step, or you're in the middle of planning it, you're almost done, or perhaps you're here because you're already thinking about next year, 2017, and how to do it better. So the poll is open now. Please take a moment to enter your vote, and then we will see some of the results. Fabulous. I see a lot of folks jumping in, and we see that, again, we have a number of folks that say that attending this webinar is your first step to Giving Tuesday, so welcome. Then another significant percentage is in the middle of planning, and we hope that there are some resources here that can help you kind of get over the finish line. Obviously almost done planning, and then if there's actually a sparkle of folks who are already thinking about 2017, and so we will hope to do even better next year. So without further ado, I will turn this over now to Jessica Schneider, who will tell us a little bit more about the origins of Giving Tuesday and how the movement has grown over time. Go ahead, Jessica.
Hi, hi everyone, and thank you to GuideStar for inviting me to participate in the webinar today. This year, Giving Tuesday will take place on November 29th. That's less than 4 weeks away, but it's definitely not too late to get involved. I know there's a lot of first-timers on this call, a lot of people who haven't even started thinking about what they want to do for Giving Tuesday. But over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you an overview of the movement, share some successes, and hopefully inspire more of you to get involved. So I work at the 92nd Street Y, which is a 143-year-old community and cultural center on the Upper East Side of New York City. I'm in our Belfer Center for Innovation and Social Impact, and our center is charged with taking 92Y's mission to build community, foster dialogue, to nurture the whole person, and expand it way beyond the walls of our building and our neighborhood and our city. And to that end, the Belfer Center runs a number of different digital initiatives and global programs. In 2012, we had an idea. There are these 2 days that bring together the retail community under a single umbrella, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. What if the philanthropic community could unite in a similar way? And by that, we didn't just mean nonprofits, but also corporations, small businesses, schools and universities, local governments, foundations, families, and individuals. We spent a lot of time that summer talking to a cross-section of people and organizations committed to social good, and very quickly launched the first Giving Tuesday a couple months before Thanksgiving. The ask was simple: to plan an activation on or around the Tuesday after Thanksgiving to benefit a 501c3. From the start, it was a completely free and open movement, cause agnostic, platform agnostic. We thought it was an interesting idea, but we didn't know for sure it would take hold, and we set a very modest goal our first year of just a couple hundred organizations participating. Ultimately, 2,500 partners ran Giving Tuesday campaigns their first year. So jumping ahead, this will be the 5th Giving Tuesday. It's become a global day of giving fueled by the power of social media and collaboration, as well as a kickoff to the end of year charitable season. It's also become a unifying moment for countless organizations and communities, and provides them with the opportunity to think creatively about how to engage individuals and families around giving. And as it has been since year one, partners plan a campaign that makes sense to them. There is no right or wrong way to participate in Giving Tuesday. That said, there are definitely some themes we see emerging this year that I wanted to mention. So, as we all know, this November is going to be a difficult and divisive time for many communities and the country as a whole. And we see a lot of organizations leaning into Giving Tuesday as a moment of unity, a time when people can come together around the act of giving. It's going to be particularly powerful this year to see communities joining together to perform acts of generosity, to celebrate shared values, to have a conversation about all the selfless acts that are performed not only on Giving Tuesday, but year-round. Sorry, slides is being a little slow. So here are some high-level numbers for Giving Tuesday 2015. The $16.7 million raised, the 700,000 donors. That's just looking at online giving in the 24 hours of Giving Tuesday. It doesn't include offline gifts or Giving Tuesday campaigns that were longer than just one day. So that number is definitely not reflective of all Giving Tuesday donations. This chart shows Giving Tuesday growth. Again, just looking at online giving, so you can see the hockey stick since year one. I'm just going to pause, though, and say, all that said, I want to be clear that not all Giving Tuesday campaigns center around donations and dollars. It's not the number that drives this movement, it's the people. And then there are so many ways you can give. People give their time, their voice. So even if you're thinking about doing a traditional fundraising campaign or have one in the works, we encourage you to think if there are additional ways to engage your donors to spur advocacy or volunteerism. Here you'll see our social media reach from 2015. We had billions of impressions and tons of hashtag use and a lot of creativity around the hashtag, which I'll go into more detail about in a couple of slides. The Giving Tuesday always trends, and we typically see a halo effect the days before and after. Social media is a measure we look at every year to make sure we feel good about where the movement is going. It was a very deliberate choice to put a hashtag in the name. We believed at the beginning, and now the data to back up the claim, that people want to talk about positive things on social media and things that matter to them. It's really powerful to see people discuss their philanthropy and other giving on social media on Giving Tuesday in an intentional way and a meaningful way, and to see how that online conversation can drive donations. And again, just going back to what I said earlier, we've been hearing from the Giving Tuesday community that particularly this year, they see a lot of opportunity to encourage positivity, have a unifying conversation online that will counter all the negativity that a lot of people are seeing in their social media feeds right now. I want to highlight some campaigns that had a really far reach in 2015. Google has done a number of campaigns over the years. In 2015, they added that I'm Feeling Generous search and had a link to a Donors Choose match. Facebook added a graphic about Giving Tuesday to users' news feeds. Later in this webinar, at least we'll speak to some other plans that they have in the works for this year. But so many organizations will be preparing their networks in the weeks leading up to Giving Tuesday. You getting people excited about your campaign, maybe launching earlier than November 29th. But I like to include these graphics just to remind you that there are people that don't think of themselves as part of the philanthropic community, but are going to see this flurry of activity when they go online on Giving Tuesday and immediately know it's a day about giving. That's one of the reasons organizations think, a lot of organizations think strategically about how to build on the momentum of the day to engage new donors, and why it's important to have your network prepped about how to bring their friends and families into the fold on November 29th. We really encourage ownership and creativity around Giving Tuesday. We love to see organizations and companies take the logo, make it their own, and really own a piece of the movement. Dress for Success has been running Giving Tuesday for a few years. They ask women to donate professional shoes to any of their affiliates around the country. Giving Blue Days become extremely successful for the University of Michigan system, and every year they bring together all their schools under one umbrella. This week I saw Giving Teas Day for Save the Manatees, Giving Food Day for a food bank. We also encourage collaboration. Giving Zoo Day united zoos across the country who might otherwise see themselves as competing for the same dollars. They use Giving Tuesday collectively to tell a larger story about wildlife conservation, zoos, and bring attention to their cause. In general, unexpected collaborations, either because organizations are very similar or because they are very different, these collaborations are always some of the most powerful stories to come out of Giving Tuesday.
And Jessica, this is Eva. I'm curious, and this is a question related to maybe the creativity that some of the folks are using, but when a nonprofit, can other nonprofits use the hashtag Giving Tuesday logo in their giving campaigns, or do they need to change it up and do something creative with it?
They can do whatever they want to do. From the beginning, we've just kind of put the heart out there, the logo out there. You can take it as is and put it on a T-shirt for that day. You can change the colors. You can change the hashtag. It is up to you, and we love to see when people are creative, but if you also just want to lean in kind of the traditional branding, you are welcome to do that as well.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Sure. This slide, we just love to see, one thing we've loved to see over the years is how local campaigns have sprung up. Last year, organizations and businesses in 70 states and cities came together on Giving Tuesday to shine a light and celebrate and encourage giving in their communities. And we have many more starting up this year, everywhere from small communities like Booth Bay, Maine, Bethel, Alaska, to big cities like Dallas and Los Angeles. If you go to our website, givingtuesday.org, you can see a map of all the civic campaigns on our website, and we're happy to connect you with a leader in your community. If there isn't a civic campaign in your community, you can step up and be that force next year. And we have someone on our team who's available to answer questions and support you through that process if it's something you would like to do. And the Civic Pride for Giving Tuesday has swelled up to the national level. Last year, President Obama posted on the White House Facebook page, and Congress passed a bipartisan resolution, and we're hopeful to see that type of activity again this year. So this map reflects the 71 activations we saw globally last year. Giving Tuesday is not just about unifying our country, it's uniting the world. And social media is global, the internet is global, online donations can come from anywhere. The work you do at your nonprofit might take place internationally. So with that in mind, I just urge you to think about how you can create a campaign that crosses borders, and also think about how you can engage employees that you might have in other countries. So just a couple of final points. Giving Tuesday is a great time to call upon celebrities or amplifiers in your network. The more they're willing to do, the better, but even just a video, a photo, or tweet can have huge reach and shed light on your organization's work. You might not have a Bill Gates or a Katie Couric or I think that's a Jonas brother in that JCPenney photo, but think who you do have, who's active on social media, someone that has really engaged followers, and who can be on call to lend their voice on Giving Tuesday. Beyond social media, there's also traditional media. The earlier you plan your campaign, the more time you have to pitch your story to the press. That said, even with a month out, there's still time. We want Giving Tuesday to be owned by the organizations and people that it's comprised of. So go out and share your story. There are some resources on givingtuesday.org to help with that process, things like sample press releases, how to pitch yourself to local news. But also let us know, because we want to help tell your story as well. We're always looking for interesting campaigns and partners to feature on social media, on our website as case studies. Additionally, press will come to us when they're pursuing specific angles, and we can only point them in your direction if we know what you're doing. So if you're new to Giving Tuesday, and I know that many of you are, I highly recommend visiting our website. There are lots of resources and tools, more case studies, really everything you need to start planning your campaign. We also have a blog and are always looking for campaigns to highlight. So when you're ready to make it official, click Join the Movement and officially sign up as a partner. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Adam from Double the Donation.
Great. Thank you so much, Jessica. Hi, everyone. I'm Adam, the president of Double the Donation. We're a company which provides tools to nonprofits to help you raise more money from employee matching gift programs. And matching gifts can really be an impactful way in helping you raise more money during events like Giving Tuesday. There's all sorts of data out there which suggests that matching gifts can offer a big boost to your fundraising results. So on the screen right now, we have data from a TechSoup study where it came out that mentioning matching gifts resulted in a 71% increase in a response rate to appeals and a 51% increase in an average donation given to a nonprofit. And there are a lot of similar studies out there. For instance, one came out from the Big Give Research Initiative with similar data where about 84% of respondents were more likely to give if a match was offered, and about 1 in 3 gave a larger gift because of the match. And the key takeaway for everyone on the webinar is that there's a huge psychological impact from offering matching gifts. individuals really recognize that when they open their wallets to support a cause that they care about, that they're able to make an even more significant impact. So not only do matching gifts create a sense of urgency for donors to take advantage of the matching gift opportunity, but they're also likely to donate more than they would have without that matching gift opportunity in place. So there are really three types of matching gifts that we'd like to explore this Giving Tuesday. The first is asking your top supporters to offer a match. The second is working with corporations or local small businesses to offer a match. And the third is leveraging employee matching gift programs to help your donors' gifts go even further. And each is effective in its own way and appropriate for different types of organizations. So let's dive into each of the specific strategies. The first one is really to reach out to your largest donors, those who've donated in the past and you anticipate will donate to your organization again in the future. We'd recommend pulling out maybe your top 10 donors or so from the last 12 to 24 months and reaching out to see if they're planning to support your organization again this holiday season. And if so, propose the idea to them where they would offer a matching gift challenge. One of the things that we've heard that's really effective is stress how it'll allow their contributions to go even further by generating a lot of additional support for your cause. A lot of the data points really resonate with your larger donors, so make sure you share information like how it increases the likelihood that other donors will for both large and small organizations. So on the right-hand side, we have an example from last year's Giving Tuesday, where Kent State University's president offered to match donations up to $25,000. And she put together a video which was included in all of their Giving Tuesday emails that went out. And at the end of the day, the results were wildly successful. While the match was only $25,000, which is a significant amount, the total gifts from other individuals came in at $227,000. So the match, definitely played a role in getting donors excited. So the takeaway here is to find a few of your largest and most consistent supporters and ask them to turn what will likely be a donation into a matching challenge. The second form of matching gifts that can be very impactful is to partner with a local business. You should be thinking about which companies and businesses in your area you could approach. What you'll oftentimes see is that companies and business owners are already making charitable contributions, and they're oftentimes open to the idea of partnering with a local cause as a way of not only providing financial support, but also receiving true benefits such as social media and brand promotion. And it's very similar to the first approach of reaching out to your largest supporters, and it has those same benefits of increasing the likelihood that people donate to your cause and increasing that average gift amount. On the right-hand side, we have two examples. The first is a tweet from the Alzheimer's Association of Nova Scotia promoting a matching gift from Deloitte for Giving Tuesday. And the second is a screenshot from WDSRA, where they partnered with a local foundation to offer a matching gift on incremental donations above and beyond what a donor previously gave. And in both cases, nonprofit organizations, they did a really good job of featuring the company in their different marketing. They highlighted the company that they partnered with, so that way the business was able to see some of those business benefits that come with the matching challenges. And we oftentimes hear that for smaller nonprofits, the best results come from approaching the smaller local companies with deep ties to your communities. So, for example, if you're fundraising for your school, approach those businesses that cater to the students and families, whether it's local restaurants or shops. And another example would be if you host a large but local fundraising run, walk, or ride, work towards strengthening a partnership with maybe a local fitness company or athletic attire store. But the key is to really focus on relationships with companies where you can both mutually benefit from fostering a deep partnership. The third and final approach is to encourage donors to submit employee match and gift requests. And if you aren't familiar with these, they're corporate giving programs where companies support the organizations which their employees donate to. And at Double the Donation, we track and maintain a database of all the companies which offer these programs. So to give you a sense of the scale, collectively there are thousands of companies who employ over 18 million individuals, which will match donations made by their employees. For instance, Microsoft matches donations at a dollar for dollar rate up to $15,000 annually per an employee per year. General Electric has a similar program where they match donations up to $25,000 per an employee per year. Gap will match up to $10,000 per an employee per year. And I could go on and on with different well-known companies that offer matching gift programs. So overall, there are literally thousands of companies with these programs. You've probably raised some money from them in the past. But you definitely have donors who work for these companies who either don't know about their company's program or aren't taking the few minutes to submit their matching gifts. And the key for your organizations is to really focus on how do you raise awareness and make it easy for donors to submit matching. It's really amazing how often donors have no idea if their company will match their donation or how to go about submitting matching gift forms. At Double the Donation, we're offering a special Giving Tuesday offer where we're basically giving away our service for free during the Giving Tuesday season. So from today until December 13th, you can direct your donors to doublethedonation.com/giving-tuesday, and they'll be able to type in their company name to determine if their company will match their donation and access the forms, guidelines, and instructions that they need to submit a match. We actually made the same offer last year. Thousands of nonprofits include that doublethedonation.com/Giving Tuesday URL on their website and on pages such as a Ways to Give page or in the donation process. So I definitely encourage you to take 5 minutes to tweak your website and link out to that URL.
Now, Adam, this is Eva just hopping in because we've gotten some really great questions for your segment, and I wonder if you can address just a few right now. And then we will do a poll with the audience as well. But would love to know just, there's a question around the difference between a matching gift and a challenge gift. Could you maybe speak to that difference? And also, what happens if the match isn't met? If you don't reach the match amount, do you lose that matching gift? Is that a prompt for a conversation? How do you handle that?
Yeah, so in short, people will use the matching gift, matching grant, challenge grant somewhat interchangeably. The big question is, how do you structure that matching gift or challenge grant opportunity with that supporter who is kind of volunteering to offer a matching gift? What we oftentimes see is that, a large donor will say, we'll match up to $10,000. And if the organization raises $6,000, the matching donor will make a donation of $6,000. Sometimes with the challenge grants, you will see where a foundation will say you have to raise $100,000 for us to match that $100,000. But for Giving Tuesday, what we normally see is an individual donor or a company will just match up to a certain amount, whether or not the organization matches that full amount.
Fabulous. Thank you, Adam. It sounds like in the meantime, while we were answering questions, we also got a chance to ask you all the questions, which is, do you feel more inclined to include matching gift as part of your Giving Tuesday strategy? And it sounds like a significant number, over 60% of you do, and another significant number feel like there's really a need to learn more and access some of the fabulous resources that Adam has shared with us in order to figure out how to incorporate it. So thank you for that. I think we will now hear from Alisa.
Thank you so much, Eva. Hi, everyone. Wonderful having you here. GuideStar, thanks for having me. Everyone, bear with me. I have a fair amount of transitions in my slides, so if it is a little delayed, apologies in advance. So my name is Elisa Cordacious. I am the Strategic Programs Manager for Facebook's Social Good Partnerships team. Essentially, my entire role is to make sure amazing nonprofits like yourselves have the guides and the tools necessary to fundraise on Facebook and broaden your mission across the entire platform. There we go. So these numbers shouldn't be a surprise for anyone on the line. The key takeaway here is charitable giving has really increased year over year in online giving. And so what does that really mean for your cause? On Facebook, there's around 1.6 billion active users on the platform per day, and that's growing exponentially. This slide will go next. That would be amazing. There we go. And so of those 1.6 billion people, there's 150 million that are actually connected to the causes they care about. So this really makes Facebook one of the largest platforms in the world, connecting folks to everything that they want to know about nonprofits. It's important for your cause to really think about in three main ways. All right. So you're able to build awareness of your organization, activate your supporters, and generate donations while cultivating new donors. On Facebook, content is really king. If you guys think about it, this platform is all about authentic storytelling. So your creative and your assets should reflect exactly what your nonprofit is trying to achieve in the world. If you can imagine, everyone always has their routine to wake up, look at their news feed, check their email, and of course you want to grab them quickly. Ways that you can share your story are through ads, and you can drive folks to the donate button, which I'll get into a little bit later in the deck. You can also think through a different medium of utilizing video. So video on Facebook is getting bigger and bigger every single day. In thinking through it, you really want to grab the attention in the first 3 to 5 seconds when utilizing video before someone can continue to scroll through. And there's a lot of great free tools online, including Adobe Post, that can help you create this type of content. Finally, the key point, again, is really telling that authentic story. So make sure your images are reflecting as such. So in addition to thinking through how you're sharing your story, you can also take advantage of our charitable giving tools. Last year around this time, we actually didn't even have these tools yet, so I'm thrilled to share this advantage with you. Last year, if you remember, or a few years back, there was the Ice Bucket Challenge. And before, while people were sharing content and the movement that they were a part of, there wasn't necessarily a clear call to action on how to take the next step to give. And now we have two amazing products. One is the donate button, and one is fundraisers. First, I'll dig into the donate button. So the donate button is a quick way for people to donate to your organization directly to Facebook. Verified nonprofits in the U.S., currently it's only in the U.S., however we will be expanding internationally soon, they can add the button to their page and make it easy for supporters to contribute using this one-page form without even leaving Facebook. So if you think about it, you have your nonprofits page, and at the top of your page you can have a sticky donate button. Sticky meaning while people scroll through and look through your page posts, the donate button will actually stay at the top of the header. And in your page posts, you're able to create content and have the donate button at the bottom as a clear call to action for them to contribute. Once they contribute, that simple payment is a click away. So let's walk through the donation experience on the donor side just so you guys are aware. A person can see your post and they're inspired to donate. Then what happens is there's a one-page pop-up form that comes up with contribution preset amounts. You as the organization can actually decide what those preset amounts are. So you could take data from your current donor base and their giving trends and see if you want to start at a low amount, around $5, or perhaps even start larger, around $100. It's completely up to your own strategy, but I would advise you to think through what those amounts should be. For us, and at average, we see around a $40 sort of contribution amount, so please keep that in mind. Once they make the payment, they'll get this thank you. They'll actually receive an email receipt, and immediately they will be prompted to share that they just contributed to your organization. There's a preset field for text. There's an image that you guys have already preset as well, and all they have to do is do one more click. That click will share to their friends, and it'll also include the donate button. Very seamless, simple. That entire process will probably happen in about 2 minutes while they're on the bus on the way to work. And here's an example of what the donation receipt looks like. Currently, it can't be customized to your own text, but this is very well-rounded for IRS and tax reporting. And we also have an entire payments team that's here to support you in case you have donors that come to you and need a second copy of this receipt. So increasing donation activity on Facebook with this button, a lot of these strategies aren't necessarily new. They're definitely in line with general fundraising best practices, but we are seeing that they're working. So you need to make sure that you know who your target audience is, who are the folks that are coming to your page, who are your followers, who are the ones that are quite active, and what content is resonating with them. Are they liking the cat posts? Are they liking the dog posts? Are they interested in the refugee crisis? Are they interested in the disaster relief? You should be able to understand and track this accordingly so you know that you're engaging with the right creative. And then having those engaging posts. So having the clear, concise call to action, donate here or share here. As you can see on the right side, this is a small organization from Utah called the Best Friends Animal Society. They actually doubled down on their social media strategy over the past 4 years and integrated our donate button over the past year. Within that, with their content and the number of shares, as you can see here, is about 9,000 shares with this cat picture and helping with Sierra. They raised over $8,000 on the donate button at the top page header and $4,000 within page posts. So it's been a really great experimental year for them, and they continue to grow and grow. Mind you, those were revenue streams that they didn't have the year prior.
And Elisa, before we move off the donate button, there's some great questions flowing through. I think people are really excited about this idea, but there are a few questions, so I wonder if we could just tackle them really quickly. So first of all, is there a fee for enabling the donate button on the Facebook page?
So there's no fee in enabling it. Now there is a 5% fee just for operational costs. Nothing is taken by Facebook. We're not making a profit off of this. It is completely just on par with being able to vet and ensure that you're getting these funds dispersed to your organization.
Got it. And is the donate button for the Facebook pages only, or can it be used on groups?
It's only on pages at this time. Great question.
And then if someone donates through the donate button, does the recipient organization get any information about that donor or no?
Great question. Yes. So they will get 2 payout transaction reports. One will show daily transactions and where the contributions are coming from, whether that is from the page header donate button or from a post that you made. And then it will also be able to show if it's coming from a fundraiser, which I'm about to get into. And then the second payout report will actually showcase how the fees came out and when everything was dispersed. So you will have access to that, and it can be downloaded into a CSV and then upgraded, or sorry, integrated into your CRM programming.
Got it. So, but I guess I'm not clear whether that means sort of, you know, if someone is a new donor to that organization that activated through Facebook, does that organization kind of find out who they are or how they can perhaps continue to keep in relationship with them?
Got it. Great question. Misunderstood. Sorry about that. So in terms of when an individual does donate via the donate button, you will have their full name, their address, and the amount that they contributed at. Unfortunately, they have to opt into the email address, whether they want to share that with the organization or not. This is in line just with Facebook's policy across the board with data and sharing. So in terms of cultivating who your top donors are, a lot of fun things you can do is actually, as the social media coordinator or the director of communications, whoever's managing your Facebook page, you can shoot them a thank you via Facebook Messenger and keep them active on the actual platform. Encourage them to share, really recognize them. Since this product is so new, over the past year, we have been asking for nonprofits' feedback and how we can make that more turnkey as opposed to just monitoring it. However, we think it's a really cool and exciting way to do campaign management and increase your number of followers and engagement within the platform. So, hope that answers the question.
Yeah, no, it sounds that makes sense. So if they opt in, you will know about them. If they don't, there are ways to stay in touch through the platform. And then just one more small question: is the donate button mobile friendly?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I forgot to mention that. We are very mobile first here, so the mobile experience for that payout that we went through is exactly as I mentioned, couple quick clicks. If the payment is stored beforehand, they won't even have to bring out their credit card again. It's completely saved. So yes, mobile optimized, absolutely.
Fabulous. Thank you, Elisa.
No problem. So let's jump into Facebook fundraisers. This is one of my favorites. Essentially, think about this as individuals being able to raise funds on behalf of your organization. I know a lot of folks on the line, I'm sure you have strapped resources and there's so many amazing initiatives that you're doing that you would want to own a campaign and really push that forward, but also it would be great to have an option where people can actually just raise funds on behalf of your organization because they care about what you're doing. And now with Facebook fundraisers, they can. So how are you going to activate your supporters to create these fundraisers? Well, first you probably should educate them and let them know that fundraisers exist. We'll be sharing a toolkit after the webinar with some clear, concise, step-by-step instructions on how folks can actually start a fundraiser on your organization's behalf. In their newsfeed, you'll see on the left-hand side, even if you personally go to your own Facebook profile, there's a tab that says fundraisers, and then everything within the platform will prompt you to create and launch. Super seamless, again, similar to the payout system, a couple quick clicks and you're ready to rock and roll and share accordingly. Another key thing is really to think through who could set an example of a successful fundraiser. Similar to what Adam was talking about in terms of identifying an influencer or a board member or a really evangelist person for your cause, if they were going to make a matching donation or perhaps if they wanted to actually launch a fundraiser on their organization's behalf, this is a really great way to become catalytic and to have others follow in suit. And then, of course, within your Facebook page, make it very clear as to what folks should be raising funds for. So Jessica is talking about Giving Tuesday, and it's such a phenomenal opportunity to really get folks to galvanize behind your own giving campaign. So just set clear, concise instructions within your page and convert and activate your followers to start launching these on behalf of your org. Okay, so Hope for Adam is a great, whoa, getting too fast. Oh no. Sorry, everyone. Okay, Hope for Adam is a really great example of finding that shining star, finding that influencer, that evangelist, that passionate individual to launch a fundraiser, and then to become catalytic for other folks to launch on in soup. So he actually needed a bone marrow transplant and wanted to increase the number of bone marrow registrants in the U.S. over the past month. He was able to raise over $200K from 3,000 people. He even received a shareable post from Kim Kardashian, as he had a family friend who went to school with her back in the day. So it's thinking through who your existing relationships are and networks, giving them the content they need to really push this out into the world and make it become a shareable. So that's thinking through kind of that shining star. Another way to think through it is thinking through a volume. So the quantity of fundraisers that are live for perhaps the movement that you're doing can also increase the engagement and the excitement of what's going on with your organization. The 22 Push-Up Challenge is a great example of this. 22 Kill is an extremely small, amazing nonprofit based in Texas, and they launched this initiative a few years back, and it just now started taking off on the platform a bit. They encourage folks to do 22 push-ups for 22 days and to do a video of it in an effort to increase awareness of veterans' post-traumatic stress disorder and mental wellness support that's needed in the U.S. So now when people actually posted the video and elected other folks to join the movement, they similarly had a Facebook fundraiser attached so folks could then contribute as well. So perhaps I didn't want to do the push-ups, but I definitely wanted to give to the cause. Now there was an option. Biggest question I get from nonprofits is really thinking through their paid media strategy as well as their organic digital strategy. And while it is a case-by-case circumstance for every organization's objectives, Mercy Corps is a good example of how you can creatively think through this. So Mercy Corps decided what their budget was going to be, a realistic budget for an ad spend on Facebook. They actually reported a 557% return on the spend, as they wanted to promote this beautiful video of children in Syria towards their refugee initiative. That ended up getting over 26,000 views, which was one of their objectives for the spend, and over 400 signatures that were gathered through a petition. So that was their paid strategy. Now, because all of that integration and excitement and engagement happened on their Mercy Corps page, they actually ended up inspiring a lot of individuals to start fundraisers on behalf of the cause. So this is Paul. It's actually no surprise, I'm sorry, Paul does work at Facebook, but that's neither here nor there. He was so moved that he always wanted to give to a cause on his birthday, and in this case he gave to Mercy Corps, climbed Kilimanjaro, raised, I think today it's actually closing, and it's about over $13,000. And he was so moved by the video that this is just such a nice way to really highlight who your superstar fundraisers can be, and then share and promote and hopefully have it become catalytic moving forward. And just a few more things here. So Facebook Live, I mentioned earlier, Live is big and it's getting bigger on the platform. I'm not going to sugarcoat it to you. It's actually an amazing way to engage with your followers, in addition to creative content that's static. So this is an example of Jill Biden at the recent Social Good Summit in New York that 90 Second Live put on, actually. And Jill was able to announce the Moonshot Project, which is an amazing initiative for cancer research. It allowed her to amplify her presence at the event on and offline. And then she had a really strong call to action at the end of her live to direct folks to the Moonshot Project's page and to donate and to get involved. So another creative example of integrating different Facebook features to increase your charitable giving. So as Jessica mentioned, we are super excited to be involved with Giving Tuesday in a massive way this year. We're partnering with 90 Second Y and also thrilled to announce that we're collaborating with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on the 29th as well. So this trifecta of partnership is just going to be phenomenal. I hope you guys can get involved by sharing Facebook fundraisers and your giving stories. So last year, 90 Second Why designed and launched my giving story on Facebook. And Giving Tuesday's nonprofit partners called on their communities, donors, volunteers, and asked them to participate by sharing their stories of compassion and causes they cared about. Last year, we didn't have these charitable giving tools, and now this year we do. So we're so excited to be able to help you guys have the tool sets to help get this out to your audience and to be a part of Giving Tuesday in a very big way. So how can you participate now? Identify those power supporters, right? Think through who your key influencers are. Think about who's going to be your Paul or your super fundraiser or your Adam. And then get them to actually run a fundraiser. I will be sharing a toolkit with you, like I said, after this webinar, so hopefully you can get some good tips and tricks to coach them along the way. But a lot of it is very turnkey in the product. It's just more a matter of getting them to do it. And then engage and share those super performers with your audience. So whether that's sharing it through your email marketing or sharing it through your social media channels, you really want to help them shine and amplify them. And then again, just support your broader donor base to do the same thing and follow in suit. And you can get them to do this before Giving Tuesday on the 29th. So I hope, I just want to do a quick little plug that we will have some really exciting announcements between 90 Second Why, Facebook, and Gates on the 18th for a webinar. So I will send along this link as well. But with that, I don't want to take up any more time. This toolkit is coming soon. And in the meantime, you can go ahead and go to nonprofits.fb.com for some general tools and resources to get you up to snuff and ready to rock and roll this season. With that, I will shoot it back over to Eva. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you, Elisa. So this has been, an amazing set of speakers who have shared some both inspiring and hopefully incredibly useful tools and resources. As I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, you will have access both to the audio recording as well as the slides. So some of those addresses that flashed by, you will have access to them in the next couple of days. They will be sent to you as participants in the webinar so that you can actually get started. Now, I'm feeling both a little bit starstruck by some of the names mentioned and the incredible stories and pictures shared, but also really inspired to really get started. I think there are a lot of options here to have an incredible Giving Tuesday campaign. I would just urge everyone not to get overly intimidated by the plethora of things that you could do, but just pick one. Just pick one and get started, or if you've done it before, take one of these ideas, whether it's matching gifts, whether it's participating with Facebook, whether it's really thinking about a creative use of the Giving Tuesday name, and just pick one idea and kind of level up your game for this year and think about what might happen next year. From GuideStar, if there were a few questions that came at the beginning of the webinar, I'd like to share with you that we will be hosting a working session called Tips, Tricks, and Secrets to a Successful GuideStar Profile on November 7th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So encourage everyone to join us if you want to improve your GuideStar profile as well. Again, with much appreciation to Jessica, Adam, Elisa, thank you so much, and to you, our audience, thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope you have a wonderful and rewarding Giving Tuesday season.